T-Rex versus Quetzalcoatlus. Who would have won in a fight? Everyone, Mike here with Prehistoric Magazine. Now, this is a video continued from several months ago, and I found this topic fascinating over the past couple months in thinking about it, in researching about it, and in preparing my previous video several months ago, that I wanted to take the time to revisit this, issue from Prehistoric Planet Season 2. Who would have won in a fight between Quetzalcoatlus and T-Rex? Now, obviously, we can only come up with theories. That's why I really hope if you're watching, you'll take the time to watch not only till the end of the video, but to take the time to comment and leave your critical and vital comments, which really fuel me and keep this channel going. But I think I've cracked the answer. Now, in the previous video that we talked about Quetzalcoatlus versus T-Rex, we kind of talked about the idea that, who knows, maybe a big bird like that really could intimidate T-Rex. You never know. A big animal like that, like Quetzalcoatlus, who knows? Who really knows if it could intimidate a full-grown T-Rex? Now, for all intents and purposes, T-Rex is probably the largest terrestrial predator of all time. So it's probably a stretch to think that a bird or even a couple of them probably could intimidate it. But in the video that I made several months ago, I did hypothesize that it was an animal roughly the same height as T-Rex, Quetzalcoatlus. It was an animal with a wing length roughly as long as T-Rex, maybe a little bit shorter. But so right there, the height and the length of both of them are about the same. Now, unfortunately, in the real world, we determine who is bigger by weight. And a 20,000-pound T-Rex is vastly heavier than a 500 or a 450-pound Quetzalcoatlus. Even two of them weighing maybe 1,000 pounds, give or take 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds is vastly lighter than 20,000 pounds, not even in the ball game. So, right off the bat, it's a stretch. Now, a good analogy that I thought about in doing a little bit of research for this video, again, the comments are critical. I'll really hope that you'll leave a comment and chime in with your thoughts at the end of this video. But, something that I thought about was, think about the idea of geese, okay, or a goose. An animal that weighs maybe 24 pounds, maybe stands about 2 to 3 feet in height. If their young are around, they could become highly territorial, and they may even chase a human. Think about how much bigger, I weigh 180 pounds, think about how much bigger a 200-pound human is versus a 20-pound bird. That's almost the same dimensions, the same size ratio as T-Rex to Quetzalcoatlus. And think about that geese chasing a human away. Now, think about what I just said, though. If their young are around, all animals, including humans, are going to be ferocious if their young are around. Now, in Prehistoric Planet, their young were not around. So they're not going to be hypersensitive. They're not going to have that baby adrenaline or young adrenaline, whatever you want to call it, coursing through them, which is, my young are around, I must protect them at all costs. They merely just bullied T-Rex for the carcass. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think that scene could happen. Again, just my theory. I'm just a guy. Love to hear your thoughts on this when this video is over, of course. But, think about that idea. If you're walking in the park, and I've had this happen time and time again, where you may encounter geese and they have young geese, they may chase you because they are territorial for their young. Now, in season 2, there were no young Quetzalcoatlus. It was just 2 adult Quetzalcoatlus flying in the sky. They happened to see a dead carcass of a sauropod down there, and they happened to see Rex feasting on it. They come down, they bully it. No children involved, no young involved. Now, think about this for a second, that even though a geese may weigh 25 pounds or 30 pounds, hard to say exactly what they weigh, but maybe an average, let's just assume an average of about 25 pounds, that geese has the potential to chase you. Okay, now if you're in a park and a determined geese is chasing you, you're probably going to get out of the way. You could be a psycho human, who knows? Maybe you want to go after that geese, maybe you want to get after it, but most people are going to get out of the way of that animal. But think about the fact that if we are being chased by a geese, we have nothing that we're theoretically guarding. There's nothing that we want. If we're just out for a walk or a stroll or in a park setting or wherever, we are probably not guarding something. Now, T-Rex was guarding this carcass, and these two Quetzalcoatlus bullied it and bossed it around and kicked it out. It was guarding a carcass. Now, if you and I were guarding something and that geese was trying to get at it, let's say it was trying to steal something of ours and maybe run away with it, I don't think that geese is going to intimidate us based on our size advantage. You know, think about a 20,000-pound Rex versus even two Quetzalcoatlus. That's only 1,000 pounds. That's roughly 10 times the size of those two Quetzalcoatlus. So again, I don't think those two Quetzalcoatlus could intimidate T-Rex. When I'm kind of researching this video and visiting this idea, I just don't think it would happen because the Rex is busy guarding that kill. Now, had Rex just been out and about walking and two Quetzalcoatlus happen to be in the area, let's say that T-Rex is walking like we're walking in the park. It's just minding its own business. 2 or 3 Quetzalcoatlus are doing their thing. The Rex happens to get too close. They honk and squawk and bob their heads up and down like geese kind of do. I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they wouldn't have behaved like modern day geese, bobbing their heads up and down, squawking loudly, just making a lot of noise. It's really realistic to believe that those 3 birds or those 2 birds may have acted aggressive towards Rex and kicked it out of there. Again, if it's not guarding anything. If you're walking around and something is coming aggressively towards you, of course you're going to get out of the way. And it makes it that much easier if you're not guarding something, if you're not protecting something. But again, in Prehistoric Planet Season 2, T-Rex was guarding the carcass of the Alamosaurus. That was not necessarily its prize that it took down, but that was its prize that it claimed scavenging. And we talked about this on this channel. Obviously, I believe that big megatheropods scavenged. I don't think they were above scavenging. If you're walking around and there's a free meal, you're going to take advantage. But again, this Rex should be protective, probably in a real life situation. It's probably not believable that these 2 Quetzalcoatlus are going to intimidate it because it has something that it wants. Again, if it's just out and about walking like we're walking, I think it's reasonable to believe that a Quetzalcoatlus could chase the Rex away. Just like a geese may chase us off a golf course, make us run to the next hole, make us do anything. But if we're guarding something and we need to protect something, and that geese may steal something from us, I highly doubt that any of us are going to let a geese bully us and take whatever it is that we're guarding away. Now, could 6 or 7 or maybe 8 Quetzalcoatlus potentially bully that T-Rex for the Alamosaur carcass? Sure, anything's possible. Again, Quetzalcoatlus, about the same height as T-Rex, wingspan, probably a little bit shorter than T-Rex. The weight was vastly different. But the overall dimensions of the animal, the height and the weight, roughly the same almost. So, this animal is staring T-Rex in the eye, maybe even staring down at it a little bit. So again, who really knows? I guess my main point with this video is just to revisit this topic. Again, I don't chase the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to come up with videos that I find interesting, questions that I find interesting, and questions that I really think I'm looking for you to answer. I'm looking for you to comment on. I'm curious what your thoughts on this are. I don't think 2 Quetzalcoatlus could scare away and intimidate a T-Rex, which is guarding something that it wants, that Alamosaur carcass. Love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments section down below. And thank you for all the thoughts, comments, and overall appreciation for this channel. Appreciate all of you. Take care.